Hello students, welcome back to our economics class. In the previous class we have discussed a topic that is types of internal and external economy from unit number 4, that is production analysis. That was an essay type answer, like you can say it can be asked as a long topic, that is types of internal and external economies. Means whatever the advantages a firm or an industry is getting, like in what types of advantage they are going to get, we have discussed in the last class. And today's class we are going to discuss law of supply, what are its determinants. We are going to study about law of supply and what are the determinants of law of supply. Before starting the determinants and before starting what is law of supply, just let us see the general meaning of supply. We have discussed a chapter, that is demand. In demand unit, what you have read, there are various kinds of demands. What are the price elasticity of demand? Okay, whenever the price change, demand will also change. Whenever the price of a commodity increase, the demand decrease. Whenever price decrease, demand increase. There is a negative relationship we have read. Like whenever there is an offer or sale, at that time the price will be less. So the demand will be more. Many people want to buy the same commodity. So price less, demand more, it was a negative relationship. Whenever one thing is up and the another thing is down, this is called as negative. Up and down or up, that is negative. If both are increasing, both are decreasing, that is positive relationship. Let us see what is supply. The amount offered for sale at a given price. Amount which is offered for sale at a given price, or this is one more definition, actual quantity bought into market. Actual quantity which is bought into market for sale is called as supply. For example, let me give you an example. We are buying some kirana items, okay, from a kirana store. Like you will be observing that they won't be storing that whatever the material they are having, they won't be storing that for a longer period of time, because it may cause insects in it and it may also damage the products because of rats, etc. So what they do, you might have observed that on daily basis in lorries they'll be getting the product into the market. Alright, in bulk quantities, day wise they'll be bringing the products into the market. Okay, they will not store it for a long period of time. So based on what they'll give order, based on the demand of the people. If the demand is more in the economy, then he'll bring more supply. If people are not buying Yippee Maggie, then he will not bring more of Yippee Maggies. If the demand for just Maggie is more, then he'll bring more of Maggie and less of Yippee. These are the two kinds of noodles which we eat, right? Instant noodles which you say. First is Maggie, second is Yippee. If more the people are demanding Maggie and less of Yippee, then he will order more of Maggie and less quantity of Yippee. That means when he is ordering more quantity, that is nothing but supply. The supply depends upon the demand in the economy. If the demand in the economy is more, then the supply will also increase. Alright. So what is supply? The amount offered for sale at a given price is known as supply, or actual quantity which is bought into market for sale. Whatever the actual number of goods, for example, if you are bringing 100 bags of rice, that means that 100 bags is the supply. In the next day, you have ordered some 200 bags of rice. So 200 bags of rice are nothing but the supply of second day. On third day, you have ordered 50 bags of rice. That means 50 bags of rice is the supply. In simple terms, whatever the actual quantity which you are bringing into the market for sale is nothing but supply. Let us see what is law of supply. It explains the relationship between price and supply. What is law of supply? It explains the relationship between price and supply. Let us see what are the determinants of law of supply. First is price of a good. Like the supply will be depending on these all following things. Based on this thing, the supply may vary. The supply may increase or decrease based on this following things. Let us see the first one, price of a good. Whenever the supply is high, price will also be high. Whenever the supply is less, price will also be less. This is called as a positive relationship. As I said you just now, when both increase or both decrease, then that is a positive relationship. Now how we can connect this matter to our daily life? Like whenever you go to a vegetable market, when the supply is more, if you go to a stall of vegetables, if the supply is more, then the price will also be high. If you go at the night time, at the closing time, at that time the supply will be very less. So even at lesser price, the person may give you more quantity. For example, if you are buying tomatoes, 1 kg, in morning the rate was 60 rupees. 60 rupees for 1 kg. So this is fixed. At night time when you are going to the market, at the closing time, the supply will be less. Okay, very less quantity will be left with them. As soon as that is sold, they want to go to back to their houses. So what they'll do, if a customer is asking at a lesser price also, they'll sell those commodities. Alright, so when the supply is less, price will also be less. When supply is high, price will also be high, which is called as a positive relationship. So based on the price of a good, what is this price increase, price decrease? This is price of a good. Based on this, the supply can change. This is nothing but the first determinant of supply. Alright, if the prices of goods is changing, then it will affect the supply also. Coming to second point, prices of related goods. If prices of related goods change, then the supply may also change. What are the related goods? It may be substitute goods, it may be complementary goods. Hope you have remembered the examples which I have given you in wants answer, right? What are the features of human wants? The substitute goods means what? Instead of this, you can use that. If you are feeling thirsty, you can either drink water or a juice. So water is a substitute for juice. You can either drink water, you can either drink juice. Complementary means, for example, if you want to make a cup of tea, what things you require? Milk, a vessel, sugar, tea powder, etc. So just for making one thing, you require many other items. That is called as complementary goods. Now let us see. If the prices of substitute goods are increased, listen carefully. If the prices of substitute goods increase, the producer will produce that substitute good only. If the prices of substitute goods increase, the producer will produce that substitute goods. You did not understood, I guess. Let me give you an example. We are having Colgate and the other toothpaste is Close Up. We have Colgate and Close Up. Now you need to think according to the supplier. Okay, you are selling the commodity, you are not buying, you are selling the commodity. If the price of Colgate is rupees 10, if the prices of Close-Up is rupees 12, it is 10 rupees and it is 12 rupees. So this substitute good price is high, so the producer, he will produce more Close-Up goods and less of Colgate. Why? Because if the rates are more, then profit margin will be also high. Per toothpaste extra 2 rupees is getting. So whenever some person is getting profit, then he will produce that good. So we are thinking from the point of view of producer. If I ask as a customer which toothpaste will you buy, then obviously you will buy Colgate. Why? Because it is a cheaper cost. So if I talk about the consumer, he will always choose the good which is at cheap price. If I talk about the producer, he'll always sell the product which is at a higher price, because there is extra 2 rupees here as a profit margin for him. So now you have understood that producer will produce that good which is that substitute goods whose price is high. If I have tea and coffee, if prices of tea are high, then as a producer I'll sell tea because extra money I'll be getting from it. According to a customer, you will choose a product which is at less quantity. So now the supply is depending upon the prices of related goods. First is price of a good, then second is prices of related goods. Number 3, government policy. Imposition of heavy tax will discourage the producer to produce goods. Yes, it is absolutely right. Whenever the government is imposing more and more taxes, then it is a burden for the producer. If he is getting 100 rupees as an earning, from that nearly 30 rupees, if he is paying for tax, only 70 rupees will be left with him. So lump sum total 30 rupees are just given as taxes to the government. So that is a disadvantage that will discourage the producers to produce more goods. Therefore, the supply will decrease. Is it right or not? For example, if your parents are giving you a pocket money of 50 rupees daily and you are coming to college, daily I am just taking 20 rupees from each student without any purpose. I am just asking you to give me 20 rupees from your 50 rupees pocket money. And how much money is left with you? Only 30 rupees. That 30 rupees you can spend on anything. But from that 50, nearly 20 you are giving for me without any reason. That will discourage you. That will spoil my image in your minds. Am I right or not? In the same way, whenever a producer, whenever the government is imposing heavy taxes, that will discourage the producers to produce good. When the producer will not produce, that means the supply will come down. Coming to next, 4th point, prices of factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, organization. If the laborers are asking higher wages, alright, instead of 2000 they are asking me 5000. Okay, in this way, what all the factors of production are there, I need to pay higher wages to laborers, I need to pay higher rent for the land, I need to pay more interest for the machinery which I bought. So all these are increasing my expenses. Whenever there is increase in the price of factors of production, that will lead to increase in the cost of production. Finally, what all the good I am manufacturing, the price of that will also be increased, because if I am just giving the money, then the money should also come to me, right? So that time what I will do, I will increase the cost. Okay, so increase in cost means what? Increase in cost of production. Whenever there is an increase in the price of factors of production, you will increase the price of cost of production. So as a result, there is fall in profit margin. Your profit margin will be very less, therefore supply will decrease. For example, if you have a shop, okay, if you have a textile showroom, all dresses are there, you are the owner, alright, you will be sitting on the main counter, cash counter. If you are having 5 workers over there, helpers over there, and previously you used to give them 2,000 as their salary, but now they are demanding nearly 3,000. So what will happen? Whatever the total profit you are getting, you need to give some amount to them. So this is decreasing your profit. Alright, if I just give you 5 biscuits, like you can eat all 5 biscuits, that is an advantage for you. If I ask you from those 5 chocolates, 5 biscuits, you just give 3 to your brothers and sisters. Now you are having only 2 biscuits with you. This is reducing your profit margin. In the same way, whenever a producer is producing a good, if he is giving more returns to the factors of production in the form of wages, rent, interest, etc., then his profit margin will decrease. When the profit is decreasing, that means his supply will also decrease. Coming to next 7th point, 6th point, state of technology. Discoveries and innovations improves the productivity, which contributes to increase in supply. Yes, that is absolutely right. How? Like in previous days, we don't used to have good technology. Like we don't used to have mixers and grinders. Everything you need human efforts. If you want to grind all chilies, pepper, etc., you used to do hand work. Human effort was there and it used to take some long period of time. But now we are having big machines. Because of discoveries and innovations, you have introduced latest technology. We are having mixies and grinders. Within some fraction of minutes, the product will be grinded into smooth posture, right? So here what is happening? Because of discoveries and innovations, in place of 10 kgs, you are producing 20 kgs. That means your productivity is increased. How? Because of the discoveries and innovations, there is an improvement in the productivity. Obviously, when you produce more, the supply will also be more. Then coming to last and final, other determinants, means of transport, communication, goods availability, these all things will also influence the supply of a commodity. For example, if the transportation cost is more, then what will happen? The price of good will be high. If the goods are not available in the market, very less quantity is there, then they'll sell at a higher price. So when they are selling you at a higher price, then you yourself will produce that commodity at a higher price. So the price of a commodity, the supply, is also depending upon means of transport, communication, goods availability and other determinants. So what are the 7 points which we have discussed which will determine the supply? Determine means how the supply, how can I say that the supply of this good is high? How can I say the supply of close-up is high? How can I say the supply of lace is high when compared to kurkure? How can I give a judgment based on this following points? Price of a good, prices of related goods, government policy, prices of factors of production, state of technology and other determinants. So the topic I have completed. You might feel it a difficult ones, but try to note down the examples also which I am giving you. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes, think it from your point of view, understand, then write it for 2 to 3 times in your notebooks. Then obviously you are going to understand this topic very easily. If you just listen and close your books off your phone, you are not going to understand it. Till tomorrow you will forget whatever I have said to you today. So These things should not happen. As soon as the class end, watch it again and again, write the examples, understand it, write it for 3 times, then that this topic will become easy for you. So see you in the next classes with some more and new topics. Till that, stay healthy, stay home and keep learning.